Alright, try this again. Doing as I'm going here, still working on the video editing, trying to get it all figured out. Anyways, I'm working on a '09 Chevy Traverse here, power steering pump. I'll show you the model number in that. Watched a couple other videos where this one is a two-wheel drive, so I don't know if it'd be any different with a four-wheel. But anyways, there's ways you can get these in and out without having to drop the rack on the one side. That's an option. So if you do that, make sure to get yourself a paint stick and mark your stuff, so when you have to put your carrier for your motor and transmission and that, your subframe back up, you get everything lined up. So hopefully you don't have to have front end alignment. The dealership, they drop this whole cradle down and then get it out the side. There's two dust shields down here, or not dust shields, heat shields. Here's one of them. This one goes up underneath the bottom side of the steering rack, and then there's a couple spots that's on the subframe. I left that one in here. There's another one up on top of this rack right here, which is a little fun to get to. So if you can get a 10mm ratchet box end, would make it a lot easier for you to get the one bolt out that's on the top side. The rack one is pretty easy to get in there. You can get that with a ratchet. The one is pretty much right under the catalytic converter. So anyways, here's one of your transfer tubes on your rack, and then your axle shaft here, and then you got your motor mount frame here and all this assembly. Let's try to tip you down without getting you out of frame too much, so I can show you how to finagle this thing in there. There's the, and then I'll get you a side shot. But anyways, you got your tab ear here that goes to the outside of your motor. This one mounts on the back. Your high side, I plugged them with a rag. They do have a screw-in cover, this one, and this one of course comes with a pulley. You can get some without. And then on your low side, there's a 90-degree that goes up into a tube. I didn't disconnect that tube. I left that all hooked up for the reservoir to come down, or I believe it's the return. And I went through and replaced the O-rings that it comes in the kit. But anyways, I'll show you how to get this back up in here. It's going to take a little bit of finagling and turning and twisting to get it out. But anyways, try to get you. Let's see here. There we go. See how I got it facing in here. I'm up against the exhaust. I had to push on the cover. There's another heat shield cover on the bottom of your exhaust manifold. But you get it up in between the axle tube and that, and hopefully I don't block you. There's that heat shield right here. If you get it in there, I'll show you once I get it up in here. Try to get where I'm not blocking your view. I don't know if you can see my other hand. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe it's evap, or it may be. It might be for the heat system. Anyways, you can get this. And it's doing the same thing, but you're not having to mess with them. Try to get you guys over here more. Let's see if I can flip you guys around here and try to hold you. Anyways, you can see how I'm up over that mount now. Then up over that transfer tube. And then once you get it up in here, don't know how to turn. Sorry about my arm in the way, but try to get you guys where you can see what's going on. And all right, now you can get that pretty much back up in there where there's a 15 millimeter bolt. Let's see if I can finagle that back enough to show you where that is on the back of the motor. See where that, you got a pointer. You see where that, where the block is. Phone's out of focus a little bit. Sorry about that. See where that flat spot is, and you see where that's where that bolt threads into. And then let's slide up out of underneath here. And I can show you a couple of these other spots to where these other bolts are. And I know this is going to be all angled when you watch this, but trying to get under here and actually, you know what? So we're not angling so much. Take you off this stand I got it the phone on. Here we go. Alright. You have this back together. You'll have one underneath your subframe here in the middle, and that's right up under your catalytic converter. And then hopefully I can do this without shutting you guys off again. Another one on the bottom here, another 10. Then there's one up further in the frame, which I didn't take that shield off. Sorry about my meat hooks being in the way. You see them aluminum tubes right there. Them are, I believe, they run all the way back down the frame to the back. I believe them may be for the heater assembly. Looking up here on the top side, that's where let's see if we can get up it. No, I'm not gonna be able to. Alright, but what you got here, come on, get in the frame. Alright, this goes on your, if you want to say, low side on the back of your pump. And then there's another tube up here. Let's see if I can get you guys up in there enough. Sprags up in here from all the fluid that I still had dripping. You can see that other one there. That is a 16 millimeter. If you don't replace that seal, just make sure it's not tore, or wipe it down real good. And then see where that's nice and clean. That's where the other one goes. I'll show you on the other one we pulled out here. And then here's what the 15 millimeter bolts, and then these other ones are your dust covers. And then watch when you get your kit, you'll get this O-ring here. The new one had this on the back, and I didn't disconnect the coolant hose or power steering hose coming down. I took this bracket right off, which is, this is on the back side. I'll show you on the old one, and I can show you the part number and all that. Usually it's 6 hours, six or 8 hours, depending on the dealership. And that's figuring because they got to do a front end alignment, but actual replacement time is 3 hours. And like I said, I don't know if it's different on a 4-wheel drive than a 2-wheel. This is only a 2-wheel. I got about hour and a half and everything getting that one back finagled in there and getting the old one out. Here's the part number and the brand. I got this from O'Reilly's. Take this, gentleman's got to take this one back for the core. Sorry about somebody has to talk in the background. All right, now you got that one bigger O-ring goes on the back side here, and then there's a 10mm bolt. All right, that 10mm bolt is what holds this tube in, and then there's a O-ring up underneath here, and then your transfer or your reservoir hose comes down here like a little piece like this, rubber. And I'll show you. That is, all right, your reservoir's here, and that tube goes down, goes to there, goes down to there, and then there's another little section of rubber, and that's that 16mm that I showed you down there. Said about wiping that O-ring and that off, or I replaced it. It come in the kit. Now, when you got your reservoir here, if you look at that, you won't see it when you first open it. You'll have your cover over like this, and you don't have to take, these are just plastic, make them look like Torx screws. You get on this side over here or on the back, just be careful so you don't break nothing. But what this has got underneath, you got 3 grommets, and yep, make sure I'm giving you the right information here, and them sit on here, and then that covers all this and just cleans the engine up, makes it look a little better, I guess, if you want to say. That's where your power steering reservoir is under that, and you have to take your oil cap off to get it, so that sits on there. Otherwise you can't get your cover off. And then while you're up here working, make sure you get it right, put that back on there. All right, now back over here again, guys. Get it out of there, you don't need to see that. All right, this 10mm here, when you take it off your new pump, watch you don't double seal these. They'll give you another O-ring. There's already a seal when this is on the new one. Just make sure when you put this back on here, when you get it under the car and you get your top one hooked back in, and you go to get your lower, make sure, I just set the seal in there, make sure it don't drop out when you put this, bolt this back up. Or if you wanted to, you can take that seal out, and they give you, there's already one in there. If you decide to leave this on and go the other route and take your hose off, and then you ain't got to worry about that. But if you do, you can either use the black seal, or there's a thicker, like a greenish color seal in there, and that's the one I'm going to use. So, but anyways, hope hopefully this will help somebody out. And I just gotta eventually do a little bit more and get my hoses hooked back up and mounted back up. So hopefully this will give somebody another way of attempting this job or whatever. It's not hard. It's just it might get a little aggravating trying to get that pump back up in there. Just gotta figure the angles out, and you can get it done. So, but all right, Zone 32 out.